not to knock stuff over. Ah, okay, here. It is almost 6:45 in the morning. Hello and welcome, friends. I'm so happy to be with y'all today. My goodness. My name is Sandra Waldrop, and this is Kingdom Acres. You're watching my segment on Craft Around the Clock. I haven't done this in a little while. I've been gallivanting, doing all the crazy things. So I'm just going to be sipping my coffee and trudging right along, trying to make it in my 45-minute time frame over on Craft Around the Clock. If you're not in that group, you really want to be in that group. Good morning, Miss Tracy. We just have such a great lineup for y'all today, and I always learn something every time I watch these wonderful, talented ladies. So you definitely want to be a part of that if you are not. And going off. Good morning, Miss Kefany. So excited you're here. I'm so excited to be here. Y'all, I've been running. So we've had, just this week, I'm gonna just give you a little life update before I get started. Just this week, we've had co-op start back up, which I'm the director for co-op. So I was there every day at the church we meet at every day for a week, trying to get things ready for that. And then early on this week, I was, still trying to get stuff ready. And I went ahead and made a huge backdrop for our first day of co-op pictures. And our tutors all came in and decorated doors. The church let us decorate doors and leave them up for the week. We're going to take them down after this week's. Oh, good morning, Miss Irma. So after this week, they will come down, but maybe we'll do some more again, like around the holidays, Christmas and stuff. I would like to just, have things here and there for our kids, because it is a church, so we can't just take it over completely, though they are very sweet. Good morning, Miss Cheryl and Anita. And so we had that, and my husband's working out of town, and so right after co-op ended the first day, I drove 2.5 hours to go and stay the night with him. Me and my youngest, we went. My 14-year-old got picked up by my 19-year-old because she has a cow, and she cannot just up and leave. She's got to be here to take care of the cow. Good morning. Good morning, Kefany and Miss Mary. And so, yeah, that was a lot by itself. But then Friday morning, I had organized, and I don't have any seniors this year, but I'm organizing the senior events for our group for Texas Gulf Coast area. Anybody in our area who is homeschooled can take part in our senior activities. Oh, thank you, Miss Mary. You're so sweet. Miss Linda, good morning. Miss Natalie. And so Friday morning, I had to be at the beach by 5:30 for senior sunrise. And I was so scared because it's an hour drive, a little less than an hour drive from my house to the beach, the beach park, whatever, the county park that we were meeting at, that's on the beach. And I was so scared that I wasn't going to wake up in time because I had to get up early and make the coffee and everything. So I ended up waking up at 2:45 in the morning, and I just stayed up. I did. Good morning, Miss Patty. So I stayed up and went and did that activity, and then we got home probably about 8 o'clock in the morning. We were done and came home. And that evening we had stuff to do to get ready for a cattle show that we had on Saturday. And then we also had a senior info meeting for graduation. And then we also had Chance to Dance for my girls, which is kind of like a community service thing that they do, where they buddy up with neurodivergent children, you know, who want to take like dance classes and stuff. And so they help them in their dance class. So they did that on Friday. And then Saturday we were at the fairgrounds all day. Oh, thank you, Miss Natalie. We were at the fairgrounds all day long, putting on this cattle show. And of course, you know, my daughter did show. She went ahead and show, and she got reserve grand champion for her breed. So that was really cool. She has a star 5. So she shows an ARB. And so she's registered through the Santa Gertrudis Breeders International thing. It's a lot of big, crazy words to remember. And I don't know what any of it means, but she's a pretty cow. That's all I know. Have I slept yet? You know what? I catch cat naps during the night. So now I'm like, I'm just going to have to do these super early lives. This is the only time. My husband's like, why are you going live at 6:45? This is the only time I have. This is the only time. I'm like, if I don't just like wake up early and get it done, I'm never going to be able to go live. Oh, thanks, Miss Cindy. Yeah, it's just, so I've got my coffee. And I went into the kitchen this morning to make the coffee. And y'all, I had been seeing a mouse, okay? I saw the tail a couple times jumping like behind, like diving behind my stove as I would come into the kitchen in the morning. And I told my husband about it, so he put out traps. This morning I go in my kitchen and we hadn't caught the mouse. My husband was like, oh, I don't know what's going on. So last night I moved the trap just before bed. I moved it to where I see the mouse, you know, jumping from in. And sure enough, he's there all scared and sad. Does anybody else feel sad when you like catch a mouse or, you know, it's fate. Good morning, Miss Lori. Oh, I'm so heartbroken for this little mouse and its little fuzzy face and whiskers and things. And it's so cute and it's so scared. It's so scared. I'm like, I'm going to have to make my husband like live release it out into the woods. Of course, it'll probably get eaten by an owl or something because it's been living here off of our crumbs for heaven knows how long. It's the worst. It's so heartbreaking. Good morning. Oh, his girl designs, Maureen. It was so great watching you. I loved your little pumpkin this morning. Okay. All right. So if y'all read the description, I am making little stuffed crow bowl fillers. No sew. Gosh golly, I just dropped all my fabric on the floor that I need. Let me grab it. Oh, my muslin. That's what I'm needing. Okay. So, the way we do this no sew is we just hot glue things. And for me, that works really well usually, but the hot glue is already attacking me. My goodness gracious. I haven't even started with you yet. What in the world? Okay. It's fine. Everything's fine. Oh, so yeah. Anyways, this is muslin, just the cheap stuff you can get at Walmart. Nothing fancy. Let's see here. I'll do this side. Okay. What I'm going to do is I'm going to leave it folded over double so that I can make one cut and get two shapes that are the same. Because these are not going to be super intricate. They're just going to be very primitive and easy for anyone to do. If you wanted to do this as a fall craft with your kids, your grandkids, or whatever you've got, that would be, that you could do it, okay? Because you're literally just going to cut out a triangle, and hopefully I'm alive enough this morning that I can cut out a triangle. There we go. So just a triangle, and this will be the shape of our crow, okay? Just very simple design. If you wanted to bring in some sticks from outside to put legs, you could do that. I did not grab any sticks this morning. I was watching Miss Maureen make her pumpkin, and time got away from me, and she started asking who was next, and I was like, I'm next, and then I was like, oh gosh, I'm next. So it was yeah, I just, in the morning, you know, you just kind of go into like this, oh, and you're just watching things, and you're like, wow, that's really, sorry guys, an alarm went off on my phone. Hopefully that doesn't happen too many more times. All right, so I've got my kind of oddly shaped triangle here, and I'm just gonna get to gluing, okay? Because I've already wasted like 10 minutes here just jibber jabbering away, okay? So again, if you wanted to leave little holes for the legs, this is the time from the beginning is when you would want to make that decision, because doing that later might be a little bit of an issue. Okay, so I'm only gonna do 2 sides of glue until I get the stuffing in. So 2 sides of glue. Okay. And I might do these with some of my girls. My daughter, my one daughter. I've got 3 daughters. My youngest daughter, I should say. There we go. My youngest daughter is in a crafting like 4-H team. And so she, I know she would love to do something like this. And now is the time to like be getting ready for our fair events, because the fair is like mid-October, but you have to turn everything in October 4th. That's when we turn everything into the fairgrounds. Okay. I'm just using fluff, but you can use old trash bags, old fabric, whatever you want to stick in there will be fine. I wouldn't like go out to the store for this project or anything, because you really don't need to. It doesn't take a whole lot. I'm trying not to overfill it, because then it doesn't like to close with the hot glue. Especially because I didn't buy like the special hot glue. You can buy the fabric hot glue that will really work. I can't see what green things you put. I see the hearts. Karen from Florida. Good morning, Miss Karen. Those must be alligators. We have alligators here too. My husband, he had gone out to whatchamacallit, to work, where he goes, right? And where they're working is it's pretty close to water and, you know, swampy area. And they had dug like their little bell hole or whatever for their pipe and everything, accessing their pipe to do whatever maintenance thing they're doing to the pipe. And they went out there one morning and there was an alligator in their bell hole. Good morning, Miss Stephanie. Good morning. Junk to Joyful. Good morning. So, so they had a fun little time getting him out of there. And I thought that was pretty funny, you know, having to play, what's his name? Steve Steve Irwin, like early in the morning out there at the job site. They were having to be like Crocodile Dundee kind of guys out there. So good morning, Miss Stephanie. Good morning, Miss Elizabeth. So I just have a stuffed triangle right here. And, you know, if you've got any amount of imagination or you have access to Pinterest, you could probably think of like 10,000 ways to use a little stuffed triangle. But today is the day that we are working on a little stuffed crow. You could even do a little pumpkin. Do a little pumpkin out of this. Because people do all sorts of different shapes. Miss Patty, good morning. All right, here we go. Where is my black? Oh, I just got out Antigua. Oh, no, I didn't. So, y'all, I don't know if y'all remember the last time I went live, but it's been over a week now. And all of my junk has just been sitting here. It's all just been sitting here. Whew, I'm almost done on my black. Okay. Oh, you know what? I was not going to start with my black. I was going to start with orange. And I'll tell you why. Because once you get all the black on there, then you can't, it's going to be hard to get the beak going. To have that show through, I think. I don't know. I just don't want to risk it, you know? Because otherwise, it's just a black triangle. So I'm going to get out me some orange and a little bit of, well, I just want to look. What kind of oranges do I got here? I think that's the only orange I have. I've been trying to pick up some different color acrylic paints. This actually says pumpkin orange on it. So if pumpkins are your thing right now, pumpkins are so my thing. Y'all, okay, if you're friends with me on Facebook, you know I'm crazy. Or you already know I'm crazy. But first day of August, I was like, it is fall, okay? And I've been feeling fall in the air since about, I don't know, I'd say the last week in July. I can smell it. I don't know if you're like me, you can smell the fall. You can feel like the energy in the air. I'm not like a new agey type person. Like, don't get me wrong, but I can feel it. I can feel it in my soul. Good morning, Miss Elizabeth. If I tell you good morning twice, I just want to make sure and wish everyone a good day, a good morrow, a good morning. I don't know. How many ways can you say good morning? All right, so I'm just going to mix that orange with just a teeny bit of brown because I don't want it like super duper bright, I guess you would say. I just wanted kind of that color. Just that color. Okay, let's see. Top. I think this, yeah, that's probably going to be my top. So I'm just going to make the beak right now. And I want it to kind of go sideways. So hopefully this works out in my favor. And I'm just going to make it kind of longish. I'm not worrying about getting the edges too straight and stuff because I am going to like go around this with the black. So it's not no big deal. Ain't no thing. Ain't no thing. Okay. So you see how it's kind of off center a little bit? I want that. I want it to be like that. All right. So, and that's literally all I needed. Okay. I probably gave myself way too much paint. I do that. I try not to be wasteful, but I You just kind of squeeze and it goes, and I don't know. All right, so now I can go to the black. Let's get some black on this thing. Black, I've got my paintbrush here, and it's actually soft. It looks already blackish, but you can tell I've been using this stuff. Ooh, that is thick. You know what I'm gonna do? Everything I do, I usually have some coffee grounds in there anyways, so I'm going to, I just made more last night, y'all, and while I was looking for my vanilla, I found pumpkin extract, pumpkin spice extract. So my coffee grunge smells a little more festive than normal because on top of the normal recipe of instant coffee, vanilla, and cinnamon, I also added, I'm so sorry, guys. And these alarms are gonna kill me. Good morning. New here, Miss Stacy. Oh, goodness. Aw, thank you, Miss Stacy. Welcome. I'm glad you're here. You're new. Okay. Hi. Yes, Miss Karen. I'm in Texas. So I'm just south of Houston. And yes, we have lots of gators over here on the Texas Gulf Coast. You're in New York, Miss Stacy. Wow. Do y'all have alligators over there or no? So hopefully we don't get any more of those alarms going off. I feel like it does something on y'all's end. I feel like it does. I don't know if it actually does. Okay. I'm just going to go to town with this black, covering it, and I'm going to try to avoid my my beak until I'm ready for it. So I'm just going to go around here and get up a little close, but not extremely close. I'm just kind of, so I can be willy-nilly until I don't want to be willy-nilly anymore. Then I'll be a little bit more careful and strategic around that. So anyways, how did everyone fare with all the back to school shopping, all that stuff? I know that back to school is usually just like a parent thing, but what I'm seeing is that it's also a grandparent thing. Grandparents like to go back to school shopping for their grandchildren also. I feel like that's going to be me, mostly because I have an addiction to stationery supplies. Okay, like office supplies, staplers, staples. Those really just satisfy me. Different types of pens, cool paper, notebooks, planners. All the cool planners. We went school clothes shopping, and we were at Ross. And we didn't find the shoes we were looking for, but we certainly found some really nice $10 planners. So those got purchased. And I told my 9-year-old, you better use your planner because you better be writing down all of your homework from co-op. So she's got to be doing that. That's part of the deal. If I got her the $10 planner, she's going to be doing it. So trying to remember which way I said was up. This way. This way's up. Okay, that's how that's looking so far. I'm going to turn it over and do the back, but I feel like I'm feeling goopy, y'all. I have to wipe real quick. If you get like sensory, you know what I'm talking about, okay? I don't have words, I have grunts and motions this morning. Bear with me. Facial expressions. Okay, here. And then I'm going to plug this in. Okay, I can probably unplug my hot glue gun until the end, and then I'm going to decide that I need something else, and then it's going to take 12 years to heat back up, but I'm going with it right now because because that's what I'm doing. Oh gosh, y'all. For y'all who are new here, I'm just kind of a crazy pants, all right? I am, I lose my words very easily. Like, are you a person that can just like do things and come up with words and thoughts and speak at the same time? That is a really, really cool skill to have. Usually, if I'm on stage speaking and stuff, I'm just on stage speaking. 8 a.m. It is really early in Texas. It is. It's 7 o'clock here now. I started my live at 6:45. New here, Miss Janine. Welcome from the... Okay, so you're from New York. Okay, I'm making a little crow bowl filler. No sew. Just hot gluing some fabric, and I'm sewing them up, or I'm drying them up right now from painting. See that? See, words are not my friend this morning. Yeah, so I started my live at 6:45, which means I woke up at 5 because I have to have time to like get my wheels kind of slow moving, grinding a little bit and going, get my coffee made. Gotta have my coffee. And anyways, so I'm just trying to get this dry so I can flip it over without the black like smudging into the orange or having the orange get all messed up and funky. Dry my paper here too so that doesn't go everywhere when I flip it over. I'm waking up my churns. So anyways, my coffee grunge smells amazing. All right, my coffee grunge smells so much like fall with the pumpkin spice extract that I added to it. And I do not really do measurements with my coffee grunge. I literally just get like the bottle, this coffee, instant coffee bottle. And while the coffee's in it, I'll fill it with water and then just dump it into my larger bottle and then, add a little bit more water and bing, bing, boom. I've got my base. Then I just add all my smelly goods, my cinnamon. I accidentally added too much. I was just like pouring some in. And I was like, there's 1 tablespoon. And then I was like, oh, there went half a cup. Because I buy those giant things of spices. So the giant containers of spices from like Sam's or wherever. I know they have them at Walmart too. And so I get them and use them up, especially onion powder and garlic powder, because we use that in everything. My kids put it in their eggs. They will use up some onion powder and garlic powder. They will. Okay, I'm just really trying to get this all covered and try not to let there be any white spots. And then we can flip this back over and fix the nose area where it's still white. You see that? So now we can be careful with it. I don't know if this will work really well for being careful or if I'm going to need to get a smaller brush, but we will try it. I'm going to try to kind of just make us a nice line, right? Getting up real, real close to that orange, but not not taking it out, right? We're trying to preserve the orange. Preserving. All right. So anyways, while I've been out, oh, see, look. Oopsies. That's all right. It'll just be a little bit smaller. So while I've been not live, I like to say I accidentally started a new thing for my kids to do, for my high school kid to do. One day I'm sitting here and I'm going through all of the ambassador programs that are available in my state for our 4-H kids. And my daughter was not interested in really any of them. They had like livestock ambassador, water ambassador, photography ambassador, healthy living ambassador. Like there's a bunch of them, but there was no horticulture. Okay. I'm just going to give this a dry. There was no horticulture. And I love you. It's my 20-year-old son giving mommy the lovin's before he goes to work. Anyways, so there was no horticulture ambassador program. And so I talked to the ag extension agent and I ended up going in. Good morning, Miss Jessica. I ended up going in and having a meeting with her and the horticulture agent. And we are now getting a ambassador program started for horticulture. And I am so excited because Texas has never had a horticulture program for 4-H. And it's going to be so good. It's going to be so good. We have already, I've been reaching out, trying to get sponsors for these kids to have supplies for the program and everything. First thing is always funding. Like, how are we going to pay for this? And then after that, we can start getting the applications and everything. But the horticulture agent sent me over kind of like an outline of what she was thinking for the program, and the ag extension agent and everything. We just kind of have like this group email thing going on, email thread. And I'm so excited. I am so just incredibly excited. All it takes is an idea. Somebody coming up with an idea and saying, hey, what about this? I know a lot of people come up with ideas and they're like, well, that's not available, so we just have to pick from what's available. You don't have to do that. You don't. If you take your idea to the right people who can make it come to fruition, do it. Do it. Because all it does is give our kids more opportunity, right? And that's really my heart, is that they have more opportunities. More opportunities. And then I was seeing where some of our sweet 4-H friends did some stuff with the Texas Farm Bureau people. I did not know that they had a program for high schoolers, the Texas Farm Bureau. So if you're in Texas and you have high school kids, their program is completely free. You just go ahead and sign them up, and they do classes and they do trips and they do all kinds of stuff. They take them out and do field trips and workshops and all this stuff, and they feed them, they, drive them, they do all. Why wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you? It is so awesome. So awesome. So, okay, we've got our little beak happening here. All right, now our little crow man just needs an eye, and I'm gonna use my ivory chalk paint. I have a niece named Ivory, and she is so near and dear to my heart. She's one of the loves of my life. Okay, I'm gonna do 2 crow eyeballs here. Isn't that so cute? I love it. All right, and then I'm going to I'm just going to wipe this off because I want to give him little dots on the white. Maybe I should dry the white first. Let's dry the white. I've got time. I've got time to dry the white. I really needed like an easy craft, and I'm really glad that I picked this one because he is just so stinking cute. He's adorable, and I'm just giddy over it. I know I'm silly. Rose Creek Cottage. Good morning. I'm just going to dry these, and then I'm going to use my antique wax just to give him brown eyes. I'm going to give him little brown parts of his eyes. I watched a funny video, and now, like, when it comes to the iris, I was like, what is the word that I'm looking for here? Because somebody had mistakenly called it another body part that was not appropriate, but it was hilarious, and I was just like, oh gosh, I'm never going to be able to remember what it's actually supposed to be called. The things I say when I'm live. Gosh golly, y'all, it's just early. All right, look at that. Isn't that cute? Isn't that so cute? I love eyeballs. Eyeballs and their irises. You can make them go all wonky, just however you want. Okay. Then after I get this going, I'm going to do another thing. I've got 10 more minutes. I can still zhuzh them up a little bit more. Good morning. Good morning. Oh, my eyeballs, I need them to focus. Milan, is that your name? Ooh, that's pretty. Miss Lisa. Thank you, Miss Irma. I wonder if there's a way I can change, like, the size of the comments. Where I'm seeing them come through. Because if I could make them bigger on my side, that would be fantastic. I do need to go back to the eye doctor, because my friend was commenting on my glasses because these ones had broke when we were at camp, and her husband was like, oh, did you get new glasses? And I was like, no, these are the same old ones that I've had for like 5 years. And they're like, 5 years? How have you had the same glasses for 5 years? Do you just like get new lenses? I'm like, no, I just don't go back to the eye doctor. They're like, well, that's not good. I'm like, yeah, I know, I can't see anything. And she's like, well, why don't you go? Like, you need to take care of yourself. I'm like, girl, all of our HSA goes to my kids' teeth, all right? my children and their teeth, it's been an issue since day one. And we are diligent about brushing and stuff. But what I'm finding is that autoimmune stuff really is a booger and can mess with your kids' teeth. So I just want my spongy brush. Okay. So this looks a little funny, but it's because it looks kind of like gravy, right? I used the clear school glue, and it's because I used to buy it like in big old bottles because my kids like to make slime. Well, ever since they got it in their hair that one time and fell asleep with it in their bed and it got all like in their hair, I've kind of put a kibosh on the whole slime situation in my house. They can play with it elsewhere. It's just not allowed inside. Okay. We're not doing slime anymore. So now I have clear school glue, and I was like, I'm going to make me some, what does Tracy call it? Gosh golly, my brain. Not coffee grunge, it is coffee podge. All right. That's what it is. So this is Tracy's recipe for coffee podge, but I'm just using the clear school glue instead of the white school glue. And it will work just the same. This is kind of foaming up on me a little bit, but it's just because of the sponge brush. It'll still dry clear. I just want to give it that little bit of grunginess to it. And I've got my pumpkin pie spice right here. And I'm going to, because I'm just like, I'm all about the pumpkin spice, all right? Like, I don't really drink Starbucks on the regular throughout the year at all. But I am willing to go and get me a pumpkin spice latte on occasion in the fall. All right, he's a little shiny right now. Let's give him a drying. Let's dry him off and see. Making him a little bit grungy. Grunge him up a little bit. He would look darling with some stick legs, okay? So if y'all do this and you want stick legs, I definitely recommend doing the stick legs. He would love some stick legs. A little primitive crow. Isn't he so cute? Another thing you could do if you're wanting to teach your kids like any kind of embroidery, you could get out your little kit and go around this and give them just like a little bit of a threading look. I didn't want to break out the sewing machine, so he got hot glued, but you could still give him that kind of threaded look by just going around this with some thick thread and an embroidery needle, and that would really finish him off really good. So. I've only got 4 minutes. You know, I've done other group lives where the time is an hour, and an hour feels too long, but 45 minutes just flies for me, and I don't know where. I do not know. Oh gosh. But I've been loving being live with y'all this morning. I've been missing it. What are the... So like if you wanted to put legs on your little crow guy here, you could put just like a couple of little sticks coming out, just a couple inches long, and that would be really adorable. Aw, thanks, Miss Kathy. Yeah, I love him. He's so cute. He's so cute. I'm going to make a few of these for a little fall vignette. Maybe do some scarecrows and things. You could do a scarecrow. You could do these as scarecrows. You could do these as scarecrows. You could do them as pumpkins again, or you could just do like, you know, ball pumpkins or whatever, just to have some different shapes and stuff. I think that they would look so cute put together in a little bowl with some antiques and things, and just get a little fall vignette going. Look at him. He's so cute. I feel like he needs a name. But what I am going to do to him real quick is I just want to kind of take down those edges a little bit and kind of trim him up here. I'm just going to soften these edges. And that works really well, him being stiff from the paint and the stuff, the grunge podge stuff. Coffee podge. Gosh golly. This is pumpkin spice coffee podge though, because I did my my coffee grunge first, my new batch of coffee grunge, and then I did my podge out of that. And so that also has pumpkin spice. Oh my gosh, it smells so good, y'all. Plus the vanilla. Oh, isn't it so cute? Well, I hope you guys enjoyed crafting with me this morning. I hope you guys stick around. Keep refreshing on Craft Around the Clock. I have appointments and all the things this morning. I'm meeting with a lady to help her figure out her credits for her homeschooled high schooler who she wants to graduate this year. So I'm going to be helping her get that transcript together. So I've got to get all that paperwork together here after this, but I'm going to try to pop on in the comments throughout the day and see what y'all are up to. I've been missing my crafters, missing my ladies. I hope you guys have a fantastic Monday. Y'all take care, and thank you for making a homemade home with me today. Bye, y'all.